Hello, it is me, Dave Microwaves Games. I am terrible at intros. Anyway, it is the birthday Q&A. I am now 22. Wow, that's kind of crazy. What the I'm only 22. I'm gonna die. I'm getting old. No! Oh, this can't be happening. How? I shouldn't be this old already. Oh man, where are the days gone? Oh well, it's not too bad. I'm still young. I'm still hip. I'm still cool. I think. Probably. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna start this Q&A now because I don't know what else to say and I don't know how to start this intro. I didn't write the intro. Samuel DC asked, will Moa the Shark ever return? Hashtag justice for Moa the Shark. I don't know. Maybe. They also ask, if you were given the opportunity to recreate one of Jay's games like how he did with Unky's EXE, which game of his would you choose? There are a few games of his I would love to sort of recreate. I would probably recreate Lanky Lonky. Maybe even the Florgan. Those two I would love to recreate. That would be fun. That would be kind of fun, actually. Random Girl asks, where are the retractable thingies, Dave? They do not exist. They're not canon. I have not been acknowledging it for the fact that it's not true. I don't know what you're talking about. The retractable thingies do not exist. Brandon asks, who is cooler, me or the Sass jacket? Damn, I don't know, man. That's a hard question. I'm gonna say that you're just a little bit higher than Sass in the coolness factor. Just a little bit. Dave Davidson asks, why did you make Thompson so hard? He was hard because he was the first boss ever made for Doomy and the Roomie. So I didn't know about balancing. Once more bosses came out, that's when that changed, and I decided to keep them kind of as is because I thought it was unique. I wanted to keep the nostalgia, I didn't want to change it with the live system. Make Me Mad Gaming asks, out of all the Dave games that never saw the light of day, was there one that you wish you hadn't cancelled? I guess Dracula's Castle would be that one, but you know, obviously I've stated in the past that Dracula's Castle is just, like, I don't really want to have to these days I would have to rebuild the project from scratch. I can't build it off of what's there in that project file. It's just way too outdated. But yeah, that is one game I would love to have. What should I finish? Tunky asks, why won't I fridge open, Dave? Don't you dare ask this question. Shadow Jagger asks, what's your favorite part about working on big boy games like Dave EXE, Around the Clock, Doomy and the Roomie, or Scooby Horror Arcade? I wouldn't really say it was a favorite part, because, you know, in actuality, long games and short games are all technically the same development-wise. It's just, you know, one takes longer than the other. But I guess you could say my favorite part about it is the fact that it's sort of just this long process building up to the release, and the excitement in me building up as it gets closer. I really love it. I do. What's your opinion on Five Nights at Freddy's? Yeah, it's pretty good. I like Five Nights at Freddy's. It was a cool series. I mean, like all of the mainline games, I will say, they're pretty good. Sister Location was probably my least favorite. I loved the Atmosphere Part 3. Part 6 was a great conclusion. Ultimate Custom Night was a nice arcadey sort of game to pop it all off. And yeah, and the original, of course, the first game and 2. They're pretty nostalgic for me. I really like the atmosphere of those games. It's pretty cool. Spawn Bugoner asks, how big are you planning on making Dave EXE? How many enemies, lore-wise, gameplay, etc.? It's gonna be kind of big. I don't know how many levels and enemies and stuff I'll do. That all depends by the end of it. At least I would like to hope there would be 15 locations by the end of development, maybe. We'll see. There will be a lot of lore, though, I guess. The Gentleman 2016 asks, what food do you eat? I am eating breakfast right now. It is honey bunches of oats, a great cereal. It's low on sugar. It's like 7 grams per half a cup, I think. I don't eat that much for breakfast. And it's probably why I'm starving by 11 o'clock, but you know, it's nice food. Misty Starling asks, favorite character you've created? Favorite character I've created? It would have to be on par with either like Barry the Bear or Dr. Dungy. Friggin' love Dr. Dungy. He's a great lad. He's just a little gas guy. You know, he's like going around stabbing people, but he's got the gas traps, you know? He's pretty cool. He's a pretty cool dude. I would be friends with him if he wasn't a mass murderer. They also ask, and if you'd change one thing about any of your games, what would it be? I don't think I'd change anything. I like how my games all turned out, to be honest. Maybe if we're talking about like some of the release games, like Around the Clock or whatever, like, I mean, this change would be big, but I do personally wish that it was on par with my newer games, like having all the characters rigged and animated, reworking some of the models because the SpongeBob model was very outdated. That's why it looks a little cursed. But I am happy with Around the Clock though. That's only the one thing I wish I could change, but you know, it's way too big to change nowadays. At least I don't think it would ever do that. It'd be a mass project right there. Spooky B asks, what is the process you use when creating your monsters? I think with my brain for a bit, and then I come up with the most amazing creature designs imaginable. It's weird. I come up with the weirdest things. I don't really have a process for this. Unholy Moon asks, what game was the hardest for you to make, and what part of it was the hardest? What game was the hardest? I mean, I guess Around the Clock would be that game. Yeah, that was a big project. That was hard, man. That was a hard project, but it was a fun-ish project with lots of fun times in it. There were a lot of good moments, a lot of bad moments, and moments where I wish that I just blew my balls off and stapled them to the wall. But other than that, it was a fun time. Decent 900 asks, when will you eat a shoe? I ate a shoe, man. I ate a shoe yesterday. I ate a shoe last month. I ate a shoe every year the day. Why would you ask this question? I eat shoes all the time. I don't need to feel guilty about it. Angel Earth 1 asks, are you ever gonna put Bob the Killer on itch.io? No, that game is dead. I don't want it to exist anymore. That's why Rob the Killer exists. It took over its place on Patreon. I personally just don't really like Bob the Killer that much, and I don't want to be associated with fan games anymore, releasing any more on my main game page personally. But you know, it's just my own personal take on that. I mean, I kind of want to keep it to the original games from now on. I mean, I'm not saying I won't ever do a parody or fan game anymore. They are sometimes fun, but I don't really want to do that as much these days, and that's why I don't want to put Bob the Killer on itch.io or anything. I just don't want to be a part of that no more. Yaktuzin asks, how to become popular? There is no method, it's just pure luck, to be honest, and it's unfortunate. Gotta be lucky with the algorithm. I'm not that, I'm not even really that popular. There's people like, you know, like M36 Games releasing, I think, was Andy's Apple Farm their first game? I don't remember. But, you know, like, they release, you know, like one game and it got really popular, and hell, they're more popular than I am, and they only released one game and I've released like 1 million. It's all luck of the draw. Sometimes your games will get really popular, and sometimes your games will get kind of popular, and you know, and stuff like that. I am really happy though where I'm at. Like, I wonder, I didn't mean to sound, did that sound, you know, like I'm jealous? No, I don't. I'm just saying, you know, basically like, you know, that you can be kind of, I don't know how to explain this. Maybe I'm sounding like an idiot. Never mind. You get what I mean. The popularity stuff is just all pure luck, basically. I mean, I'm really happy though that I'm even this remotely popular. It's pretty dope. Julian the Microwave asks, will Yonder, Polar Snap, and Forgotten Memories random event be in update 6? Basically the next update. Yonder, no, I'm gonna leave that for the other update, like the one after this, because this is the community update. Polar Snap and the Forgotten Memories random event that I've teased in the past, those are coming in this community update. I Can't Choose Names asks, if usually an edgy character is the opposite of a person, e.g. Edgy Barry being a clean version of Barry, why do edgy variants of enemies in DBXC not seem that different personality-wise? I think that was just a gag for Edgy Barry. Technically, that's not really a thing, kind of. Like I said, it's just a gag. It's not really a lore thing, I think. A normal mate asks, do you keep shoes inside your microwave? No, I do not keep shoes inside the microwave. What is with these shoe questions? The Gaming Cat asks, what game do you consider to be your magnum opus around the clock? They also ask, what was your inspiration to make Vex Clock and Strange Terror from the Deep? Vex Clock, I was actually going to be a part of the Trilogy Bundle too, then we scrapped the Trilogy Bundle, and then I made this big game that I'm really happy with, and it's in development right now. You should wishlist it on Steam. Aha, free advertisement. I would actually say that's my new magnum opus, now that I think about it. Yeah, and Strange Terror from the Deep, you know, there was not really too much of inspiration behind that other than the fact that I wanted to make a sequel to Beyond the Stars, and doing it underwater sounds like a cool idea. But I guess I didn't really answer the inspiration for X Clock thing. I guess the inspiration behind it was mostly just, you know that one clock punk anime, what's it called? Clockwork Planet or something? I think that I would imagine was my main inspiration for me to make Vex Clock after I watched it. Like a month or so later, I decided to make this game just because I love clock punk stuff and androids and all that stuff like that. So yeah, I guess that was technically my main inspiration. Moonbit57 asks, where's Bear the Bear? He's in Dave XE. He is in Dave EXE. I can't speak, apparently. Where would you child A113 asks? Okay, maybe I'm butchering these names on purpose. Do you prefer making games with original characters or with non-original characters? I prefer making games with original characters personally because those are more fun to make-ish. I mean, parody games can be fun. But, you know, when I'm making original stuff, it's like, you know, I have the full grasp of the project. You know, I get to do everything with it. You know, I get to do anything I want. So originals are more fun, I guess, personally. Sul asks, is Scooby Horror Arcade going to be updated anytime in the future? I think the last update is going to be the last one for the game. If I were ever to do another update, I don't know, I feel like that would kind of drag the game on. I feel like it would already get, like, at least the gameplay formula would get kind of boring at that point. Emil asked, are you going to release the sandbox build of Dave EXE onto Steam? And will Doom in the Roomie also be released on Steam as well? I keep saying, Anyway, I will probably release Doomy in the Roomie on Steam, maybe? It really depends. I'm thinking about it. I don't know if I want to. It would be a cool idea, though, if I do, like, an Ultimate Edition of some kind. That would work, I think, for a Steam release. But if I'm gonna release a sandbox build of Dave EXE onto Steam instead of just keeping it solely on Patreon, I've been thinking about that. Maybe. I don't know. I'd have to see. That's something for the future. I can't really decide on that yet. It's too early for the game to be on Steam. I don't feel like it's in a good enough state. If I was going to release in the sandbox build, I'd rather have most of the 1.0 features, maybe like the story mode missing. That way it'd be like, you know, early access updates coming out, like Dead by Daylight almost. I don't know. That's something I'd have to think about for the future. A totally real jellyfish asks, why do you always stick to UE4 4.19? You know, fun fact about that, I've actually been using 4.27 since the beginning of this year. Oh, well, when I'm recording this, like the 30th of 2022, when this is coming out is 2023. I've been using 4.27 since the beginning of 2022, when I started working on Vex Clock. And I haven't really made any new projects since. So, stuff like the Microvaifu dating sim, when that's worked on, you know, Vex Clock, all that, that's going to use 4.27. Dave EXE, unfortunately, is going to stay in 4.19 because I can't really update that to 4.27. Doom in the Roomie is possible I could port that to 4.27. I would have to see if I do like another update to the game. But, you know, don't worry, though. I'm not sticking to 4.19 for long. That's going to be a thing of the past. Spring Duty 11 asks, what minor thing from your games are you the proudest of? Object model, music, non-major character, etc. I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I guess I'm really proud of some of the things of just like the music, especially when I work on it. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's pure luck when they sometimes even sound good. I'm not really a composer, that's why I hire composers from time to time. But you know, like theme songs like the Grubbler's Injured theme or like the Virus theme from Doomy and the Roomie. But I don't know, I just love the way those sounded, and some of the tracks I've made for Vex Clock I'm also really proud of. You just the little things like that I'm the most proud of that I don't really usually talk about, you know. Evan asks, does your microwave head take batteries or can it be infinitely used to heat up food? It can infinitely be used to heat up food. It is a magnificent microwave. None can compare. CJ Productions asks, with Vex Clock coming out soon, would there ever be more sort of non-horror games in the future? I would definitely say so. It's possible. I mean, it's not something I'm planning, but I would love to make more non-horror games. It depends. how I'm feeling that day. I'm really enjoying how this one's turning out, though, and I'm really happy with just making a non-horror game for once. It's been really fun. Alana, I don't know how to pronounce that, says, do you think you're ever gonna pick up development on the unfinished Strange Chair from the Deep Content update again? I don't know if I'm ever going to be honest. That's why I kind of dropped it on Patreon. But you never know, maybe my mind will change. Artsman asks, what games releasing 2023 or 2024 are you most excited for? I would say, like, Rune Factory 3 Special Edition, I think, is coming out this year. I know SpongeBob Cosmic Shake is also coming out this year. RE4 Remake, Cyberpunk Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, forgot the name. Outlast Trials, and I mean, I would imagine Silent Hill 2, the remake, is coming out this year or possibly next year. Maybe. I hope so. I can't wait for that to come out. Tells asks, scrambled eggs. This is a joke. I have an actual question. What is your favorite character that you made in 2022? Good old Polar Snap.
Say cheese. Wonderful pose. Come on now. The show's not over yet.
Noah's Workshop asks, what is your least favorite game in general? Like, the game to play? Personally, like on my Steam library, I would say Dead by Daylight, even though it's a love-hate relationship. I hate that game. I love that game. Oh man, what a game. Unfortunately, I'm hooked on that game still. I left it for 6 months, and it pulled me back in. Like a rat. Fuck. What is your least favorite game that you have made? I would probably say I don't really have much of a least favorite game these days. I usually was like, I hate Dracula's Castle back then and all that, but you know, not really these days. I wouldn't really hate a game. Even Carnivorous Chickens I kind of grew fond of a little bit. But if I were to say least favorite game, would probably still be that one, to be honest. Julian McGrath asks, will you ever make a game as big as Around the Clock? I guess Vex Clock is technically that, but I mean, I don't know if it would be as big. It is a decent sized game though, at least so far. I'm hoping it'll be a pretty good sized game, like Around the Clock to some extent. But will I ever make one as big as Around the Clock besides maybe Vex Clock? I don't know. It depends. Monster for the Win, I think that's how you pronounce it, or maybe it's just Monster FPW, asks, if you updated Tunky or Bunky, what would you add in those games, like new animations, revamping the map, etc.? If I were to update those games, it probably would be like an animation revamp and like environment revamp, you know, just making it up to par to my new games. But I don't know if I would actually do that anytime soon. Would be cool though. It would be cool. They also ask, if you had plans on making another Unky game, what or how would it be like? Yeah, if I had plans to make another one, it probably would be that Unky's House game. That's like it was like gonna be like a Resident Evil 7 sort of knockoff deal, where there's like multiple Unkys in the house and the big ass house with puzzles and expansion and all that stuff like that. I don't know if I would make that game. It's a funny idea. I don't know if I would just generally make an Unky game even if it was small or like Sunky, but you know, we'll see. I always change my mind. Sometimes, you know, I'm just very sporadic. Like, I'll just make something random one day. Like, I'll be working on Vexoc, and then I'll be like, you know, I'm gonna boot up Unreal Engine and make friggin' a dude did it, or done did it, or whatever. Because it's a funny game, you know, I just randomly do stuff like that. I don't know why. I'm just, you know, this is how I am. But yeah, maybe that's how Sunky will come into existence, or Unky's House, whatever I would call it. I don't know how to pronounce it. Asks, will the ending of DayVXE be more serious or more as a joke? I don't really know how to answer that, because I mean, I kind of have a vague idea of the ending. I don't think we really wrote it down. I mean, we kind of wrote it down, but if the ending, I guess I would say it's a bit of a mix, maybe? I don't know. Like I said, it's not really that planned out, but there will be an ending, I think, to DayVXE. And also they ask, what do you think of my character? I'm assuming for the contest. I can't really say my opinion on the contest characters yet, but, you know, because I don't want people to think that, you know, oh, I'm liking this character more than that one if I liked the tweet or said something, you know. But, you know, I've looked at a lot of the characters in the contest, and I will say I'm really liking some of them. I can see a few making it into the game, but, you know, we'll have to see. There's going to be 3 judges. We're going to be voting on them and deciding which one, you know, makes it into the game. I'm excited, though, for the contest. I can't wait for that to come to an end on the 15th of January. Matthew Perold says, do you have future games planned based on, I guess, children's games that we can get, like Dora is Dead 2? No, I'm not going to be doing any more fan games or parody games, probably. I'm kind of leaning off of that, as I stated in a previous question, kind of. I'm gonna stick more to original games than, fan games, I feel like. C&D Cardboard Games asks, very important question. What do you like to eat your shoes? What sides? Ah, man, that's a tough question. I love a side of salad, a side of boiled shoe, to go with the grilled shoe. You know what I mean? It's a nice combination. Why are there so many shoe questions? I do not know, but all I know is that you can eat shoes if you've got the right combination of food. He also asks, what inspires you to make the games you do? What tips would you give to people starting out? I feel like what inspires me? I feel like what inspires me mostly is just, I guess nostalgia in my past. Just like playing a lot of stuff, like a lot of old games like PS1 and PS2. For some reason, just those two generations, just the games that I've played on them, the most random ones like 40 Winks, Metal Arms, even just like the games like SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, random things like that, just random old games. I don't know, something about their style and gameplay, I guess, just still inspires me. Even when the games don't even feel similar to those or visually like those. I don't know, just, I always wanted to be a game dev, I guess, and playing a lot of old games pushed me to want to make my own, and I guess that's mostly just been my main inspiration these days, and I'm sure you can tell my main inspiration a lot these days is some of my enemy designs and games and stuff is Silent Hill, Oh, I sure love that game. I don't know why, it's still just fucking the Forgotten Memories event that I kind of teased. It's literally just Silent Hill Shattered Memories, basically. Like when you play it, when I released that update, you just look at it and be like, okay, yeah, this is definitely inspired by Silent Hill Shattered Memories. I don't know, I'm just weirdly inspired by just a lot of random stuff like that. As for what tips I would give to people starting out, I think the best thing a lot of game devs can do, like a lot of starting out game devs should do, is to focus on one project at a time. Do not jump from project to project because that will slow you down. You won't finish anything. Just push yourself to finish it. If you don't push yourself to finish it, you're never going to complete a future project. I guarantee you that. That happened to me a lot during my Game Maker Studio days. I was barely finishing anything until I moved over to UE4 and I guess enjoyed that engine a lot more. I felt more motivated. And once I was actually finishing stuff, I felt motivated to finish more games. I knew it wouldn't be the right thing to do, to be jumping in between projects just because I was getting bored with this one. Like around the clock, like if I wasn't like this, like if I didn't push myself to finish projects, I guarantee you I would never, ever have finished Around the Clock Bikini Bottom if I didn't push myself to finish it, because I fucking hated working on the game so damn much. But I pushed myself to finish it, I enjoyed the process halfway through, and once the end result came, I was happy with how it turned out. I'm really glad I finished that game. I know it was very difficult for me, but I knew I had to finish it, and I'm glad I did, and I'm really proud of it. And I feel like that's something that everyone needs to do, is to just do it, just finish the game. I know it can be very difficult, but trust me, you need to finish what you're doing. Don't move on to different projects, don't abandon games. If you keep doing that, you're never gonna finish a game at that rate. It's gonna be very difficult for you. CrazyBoy88 asks, how many enemies are scrapped from Dave EXE? I think the only one that was scrapped was the original Sveeve, and I'm pretty sure that was it. The original Sveeve wasn't even a spider, it was like just a dude with a briefcase. I think the power was going to be something like revolving around, if he spots you, he would call in backup, and then, backup would come, these other businessmen would show up, and you would basically be dealing with like a tag team until you lose them or something like that. I can't recall. I might do something like that in the future again with a different character, who knows. They also ask, what is your opinion on Mario games? I never really played a whole lot. I mean, I used to play a few, like, I think, what was it called? I don't know. I know I've played just a few of them. I haven't played like Odyssey or any of the new ones. I've mostly ever played like some of the older ones, like the Wii U, I think, title, the Mario game from the Wii U. That was probably the last one I've played way back when. So yeah, I mean, I've never really been too into those games, but they were pretty good. I'm actually excited for the movie. The movie looks, I'm surprised. Why does the movie look so good? It's weird. I never thought it would actually turn out decent. The only problem is Chris Pratt is not even a good Mario voice, but other than that, it genuinely doesn't look that bad. And last question, Tabor's King asks, how long does it take for you to make the next game? I'm assuming like how long it takes just, for me to make a game in general. It really depends. If it's a short game, maybe it'll take like a month or two. If it's a long game, like Vex Clock, that's taking over a year. Sometimes games can take 2 years for me to make. It really depends on how much effort I'm putting into them, Dave EXE, you could technically say that's, taking almost 3 years at this point, because I'm like updating it with new content updates every couple of months. I know the game went into like a long hiatus from like August 2021 till like the next year, like the middle of next year or something like that. It was like a whole year long break since that Baldi update, and that I guess made the development take longer because I was busy with other stuff. But I mean, I guess I would technically say that games of mine can take like two years sometimes to make. That's how long around the clock took. It was like 2 years or so, like 2.5 years. So yeah. And those are all of the questions. Thank you for asking them. I appreciated it. This Q&A was fun. I hope it was insightful. Anyway, thank you for coming and listening to me ramble with these questions. It was fun. I'm gonna go eat food. I will see y'all later. Bye! Don't tell them about the refrigerator. No one should know. No one should know about the refrigerator. Hey, Mario, stop! Get him!